So definitely, quant was my weak point because as I was a health sciences student, math was a subject which I had not been doing since quite a couple of years. So syllabus is something which you should actually get it printed and stick it in front of your study table, because you don't have to go outside the syllabus. You have to strictly follow the syllabus that is given. For the interview, I have classified the types of questions asked in interview into four types. So after
Right.
you
Okay.
qualify for TISSNET, you have to fill in a detailed application form, which is, I think, a very crucial part of your interview. So within the School of Health System Studies at TISS, we have MHA and we have Masters of Public Health.
Hello everyone. Today we have with us Dr. Kawleen. She has cracked the TISSNET exam and got into the Masters of Public Health and Social Epidemiology program at TISS Mumbai. She has also recently graduated in dentistry. Today she is with us to share her valuable insights on her TISSNET exam preparation and also how she got into the public health program at TISS. All right. Hello Kawleen, welcome to Cracko interview series. First of all, congratulations on cracking the TISSNET exam and getting into the program of your choice at TISS Mumbai.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be interviewing, and I hope this interview helps our future TISS aspirants.
Yeah. Firstly, before we start the interview, can you please tell us why you chose the public health program at TISS? Because you have pursued dentistry. Can you tell us like what interested you in choosing this program?
I would say there are two prime reasons why I selected this program. One is definitely that I was looking for something unorthodox and offbeat. I didn't want to do the
Okay.
conventional MBS. I didn't want to follow the conventional path, and that is why I took up internships like business strategy, content writing, etc. So I was looking all this
Okay.
while for something offbeat. And I stumbled upon public health during my internship, where we conducted camps at slums and even jail. So that is what introduced me to public health. The second reason was
Okay.
that the pandemic made us realize that
Okay.
there is a deficiency of public health professionals and epidemiologists in our country. It was reported almost every day, and no clinician,
Right.
however skilled he is, could take the place of a public health professional. So I realized that I can fill in this gap, and I've considered myself capable enough to do it. So that's how I decided upon public health.
Okay. That's wonderful. All right. Now let's talk about your TISSNET exam preparation. So can you tell us when did you start your whole journey to to this towards TISSNET? So how did you prepare for each section, especially the GK?
So I was working till December 2021, like last day of December. So I started my full preparation, full honest preparation from January. And the TISSNET
Okay.
exam was luckily postponed this time. It was
Right.
at Feb end. So before that, I was reading the Hindu every day, and I was solving some math problems whenever I could get time, because since I was working in November, December, that is all I could manage. But
Okay.
once I started my preparation properly, there are three subjects which are covered in TISSNET. There is English, there is general aptitude, which is GK, and there is math or quant and reasoning.
Mathematics. Yeah.
Yeah. So definitely, quant was my weak point because as I was a health sciences student, math was a subject which I had not been doing since quite a couple of years. So I started my preparation primarily by solving past papers, because I wanted to get a hang of how the paper is and what kind of portion is asked, what is the syllabus, and how good am I at it. So, and how hard I need to
Okay.
work. So there are past papers available on the Cracky website, which I had used.
Right.
So that is how I started my preparation. Now, after that, I identified my weak points, which were quant and which were general. General knowledge also has two
Yeah.
sections. One is static, and one is
Static
current
and
affairs.
current. Right.
Yeah, so for static, there are books which you can refer to, but I think TISSNET focuses more on current affairs. So it's very important to be reading the newspaper every day and to make your own notes. For quant specifically, I referred a lot of online resources because I did not have much time to solve the book. So many online resources, like there are YouTube channels like Crack and should refer, because the explanations given on these channels, they help you save time and understand the concept, and you don't need to keep practicing one sum. If you understand the concept, it's very helpful to solve sums later on also. So the resources that I used, for English, I think for grammar you can use Ren and Martin. which is the classic book, and you can use a lot of online resources. There are videos available on the Crack YouTube channel. Then the second is a very important part of your preparation would be mocks and past papers.
Right.
So yeah, again, these two resources are also available on CrackU website. So that is something which students should definitely opt for, because solving past papers will give you the hang of your
Right.
syllabus. And yes, I forgot to mention that the syllabus, many people they go out of the syllabus and start studying. So syllabus is something which you should actually get it printed and stick it in front of
Right.
your study table, because you don't have to go outside the syllabus. You have to strictly follow the syllabus that is given. And yeah, and keep
Right.
solving mocks and keep solving your past papers, and not just once. You should solve the past papers at least 2 to 3 times, which I had done basically.
Okay. So past papers and mocks, some of the best
Past
and useful
papers and
resources.
mocks.
Right.
So I definitely
Right.
made very good use of the online resources. And the one more thing that I did was I gave around 8 to 9 mocks.
Okay. TISSNET mocks. Yeah.
Yes. And I think students should not get disheartened when they get less marks in mocks. Like I used to score very less in the quant section and general aptitude section. But I think that score is just for you to identify where you are lacking, and to keep improving and keep revising that part. So that is one thing I would advise aspirants to not get disheartened with your scores in mocks, and keep giving as many as you can.
Right. Great. So coming to the exam strategy, I think TISSNET does not have any sectional time limit. So
There is a sectional
can you?
cutoff for
Yeah, there's a sectional cutoff, but I think there's no sectional time limit. So can you tell us how did you attempt the paper? Like how can one come up with the right order of attempting the exam?
there are
Yeah. Yeah.
100 minutes given for 100 questions, and so the most, I think the helpful strategy would be first to start with the section you're most comfortable with. So I was most comfortable with English, so that's what I started with. Then I went on to
Okay.
GQ, because GQ has straightforward questions, like either you know or you
Yeah.
don't know.
Right.
So second section was GQ, and the third was quant. Now this year specifically, the quant was section was very lengthy, so I think students should now on focus on solving quant questions in time. So that would be helpful for them. And yeah, and I think one more strategy
Yeah.
which helped me is you have to solve the paper twice. So once when you solve it, solve all the questions that you know for sure that this is the answer.
Okay.
Then the
All the
second
easy
time
questions
you
and
come
all
back.
those. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And the ones which you can solve quickly, like in math, whichever logic problems that you can solve quickly, just cover that. And in the second half, then the second time when you opt for the paper, that is when you solve all the difficult questions or the time consuming questions, because this paper does not have enough time. The paper is lengthy, especially the quant problems, and even the English
Right.
comprehensions this year were very lengthy. So definitely this is one more strategy which was helpful.
Correct. All right. Now let's talk about the public health program which you chose at TISS Mumbai. Can you tell us what's the admission process like for this program?
Sure. So the admission process has, so basically TISS has two main exams. One is the TISSNET and second is the online assessment. Now this is a format which is being followed due to COVID. So earlier it was TISSNET, then there was an aptitude test which was a written exam, and the third was the
Right.
personal interview. So maybe next year we can come back to this. This year we had two exams. So TISSNET,
Okay.
as I've mentioned, we had three subjects, three sections, and in GK we have sectional cutoff, which is very important to get at par with. And talking about the interview or the personal online assessment round, the online assessment
Yeah.
round has further two parts. We have an extempore, where a
Okay.
student is given any topic. It could be relevant to your field or it could not be relevant to your field, and that student has to speak for a minimum of 3 minutes on that topic.
Okay.
And
Okay.
the second is the interview. So for the interview, I have classified the types of questions asked in interview into four types. One is the
Okay.
interview based questions which are on your DAF, that is the detailed application form. So after
Right.
you
Okay.
qualify for TISSNET, you have to fill in a detailed application form, which is I think a very crucial part of your interview. And every detail that you put in into your detailed application form, any question can be asked from it. So every word is a question in your DAF. So students have to be very careful when they're mentioning any detail in their DAF, because any question could be asked on the basis of that. So
Right.
DAF
From that.
related
Yeah.
questions, yeah, form the first kind of questions that could be asked. The second would be general questions, like general questions as in introduce yourself, or why did you choose this program? Why did you choose this specifically? Why are you switching your
Right.
field, or how is your field of graduation relevant to your current field
Right.
that
Right.
you're
How
opting
are you
for?
going to
So
contribute
these
and
are
all these things? Right.
right. So this is what they ask in the general questions, the second category. The third category would be questions related to your field specifically. So if my field was public health, so I was asked questions on epidemiology, or how I
Right.
can bring in change in the rural areas using public health. So questions which are very relevant to your particular field from the third category. And the fourth one is
Right.
current
Okay.
affairs. So I think
Okay.
students often stop reading the newspaper after their TISSNET, but
Exam. Yeah.
staying updated. Yeah, but staying updated with current affairs was such an important part that I realized during my interview, because it gives you an opinion about what is happening. And TISS is Tata Institute of Social Sciences. They want you to stay updated with the social reforms, and they want you to have an
Correct.
opinion
Yeah.
about it. So yeah, reading the Hindu or any relevant newspaper that you find is very important.
All right. So yeah, so this is the admission process. First TISSNET exam, and then once you crack the TISSNET, go through an extempore and then the personal interview, right?
Yes.
Okay. So now can you tell us how was your interview and how did you tackle the interview questions?
So the interview was online, so I made sure that I had practiced a lot of. I just sitting in front of the laptop or computer and practicing was a very important part of my preparation. After that, as I mentioned, the four categories, I had focused on all those four categories, and that had. I think your preparation from your preparation only probably 5% of questions will be asked in your interview, but the entire preparation will
Okay.
make you ready to face any kind of question in your interview.
Right.
So, like, I
Yeah.
was asked a lot about dentistry also. I was asked a lot of core dentistry questions. I was asked about current affairs. I was asked about my opinion, like situations. They gave me a situation, as in, if you go to a rural area, reforms would you make, or how would you use your dentistry later? And I was asked a lot of situational questions. So I think the entire preparation for your interview is going to make you ready. So your preparation has to be very strong,
Right.
and I think interview in TISS particularly is the game changer,
Right. So
because
that's yeah, that's a crucial juncture. Yeah.
you can either score very high marks or very low marks, and you just get in. So, and
Right.
I think people, they start preparing slightly lesser. They start taking it a little lightly after the TISSNET, after they crack TISSNET. But one thing which I did well, I think, was I focused more on my interview. Like, I increased my number of hours, I increased my strategy, I started working harder for my interview. So that is what reflected during the interview, because it will make you confidence.
All right. As we know, there are different programs at this School of Health System Studies like MPA, MPH, and I think some people are confused about the differences. So, can you please highlight the differences of these programs? Yeah.
So within the School of Health System Studies at TISS, we have MHA and we have Masters of Public Health. And in Masters of
Okay.
Public Health, again, we have three more courses. There is Health Administration, Social Epidemiology, and there is Health Economics, Finance and Policy. Now, I'll give a brief
Okay.
difference between MHA and
Sure.
MPH. MHA is Masters of Hospital Administration. So someone who's
Okay.
looking to progress their careers in a hospital environment, work as administrators, and later, get promoted to the last position.
Right.
I think would be the CEO of a hospital. If they're looking for more of a corporate profile, they can opt for MHA. However, MPH
Okay.
is something which is entirely dealt with public health, not the private sector. So students need to remember that
Right.
they'll be dealing with the public sector when they study MPH. So the work
Okay.
profiles they can be offered would be in international organizations like WHO or UNICEF, or they can be offered work profiles in NGOs like Aga Khan Foundation, or they can
Okay.
also be offered, profiles in corporate. But more so, this is related to government and public sector.
Right. Public
So,
sector.
the
Correct.
main point of differentiation is that there is public health and there is hospital administration. So, someone who's looking to progress in a hospital environment should go for an MHA, but who's willing to progress in the public sector should go for an MPH.
MBA. Right. Perfect. Now, finally, what is that advice that you would like to give the TISSNET aspirants and also those aspirants who are trying to get into the public health program at TISS?
Especially for the students who want to get into public health, choose public health if you want to go for something offbeat, something exciting, and something which can directly make an impact in the society. Those students should definitely go for public health. And at the Tata Institute of Social Sciences, we have internships included in the curriculum. We have 4 to 6 months of internships within the curriculum. We also have an original research based thesis that we'll be submitting. So the TISS program itself is very research oriented, and which will motivate you to think critically. So that is a very crucial part of forming a public health profile. And second would be the two things which are actually the game changers are your mindset and strategic hard work. So your mindset should
Okay.
be such that you should be very focused at your goal, towards your goal. You should believe in your hard work, you should believe in your resources, and keep your resources limited. Don't keep on
Okay.
going through a lot of different websites or a lot of different YouTube channels. Just keep your resources limited and just have faith and belief that yes, you will crack it. And the second is strategic hard work. You don't have to
Right.
sit and slog for 14 to 16 hours, which you will do
Yeah.
eventually once you get a hang of it. But just make sure that you are consistent with your hard work every day. If you're starting an year earlier, make sure that every day you're studying for at least 4 to 5 hours. So you're studying consistently, you're reading the
Correct.
newspaper
Yeah.
every day, because the TISSNET paper, the difficulty level is increasing every year.
Right.
And the
Okay.
questions asked in the general aptitude section are probably very
Not so easy.
like
Yeah.
difficult for students. Yeah. So start your preparations early, I would recommend, and just have faith in your preparation, and I think you'll crack it.
All right. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Kavleen. You gave us some very valuable insights on how to crack the TISSNET and also how to get into the program, the public health program at TISS. I'm sure it helps a lot of aspirants. Thank you so much, and all the very best for your journey at TISS Mumbai.
Thank you so much.